Hello, and welcome again to another episode of Primetime Makeover. This podcast is for women in the prime of their lives, and we're glad you're here. We are broadcasting today from Eclectic Artistry Boutique in Flossmoor, Illinois. Oh my goodness, it is so beautiful up in here. You need to visit here. But it's also the holidays. Yes, it is that time of year where people get stressed out. They are trying to figure out how to show up and all of that. So, on the next three podcasts, we have what you need to show up in the best way possible. But first, I am so excited to introduce our next co host, the stylist one, Sheila Hopkins. Sheila Hopkins has magazine experience. She is a professional coach, although she doesn't really do that. But I imagine if you begged her, she would help you get your style together. So, Sheila, tell us about yourself, my dear.
So, as Michelle said, thank you, Michelle, for having me. My name is Sheila Hopkins, and I am a retired professional from the publishing, media, and fashion industry, and I'm also a certified life coach. I love fashion, always have, and I'm here to give you some style tips.
Thank you. We're glad to have you. And so, as we launch into these episodes concerning the holidays, we want to tackle the elephant in the room. So, this episode today is going to be led by our co host and our therapist. Everybody's therapist. No, just the people on the panel. But our therapist Lysandra, who, by the way, is now just had a milestone. You are a licensed clinical professional counselor. So, Lysandra Lester, we are glad to have you. Lead us in this discussion of holiday stress.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Yeah, this is definitely the time when we really need to dig into what the holidays mean for us. And we know, there's a song that says this is the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah.
But for some people, it's not the most wonderful time of the year. For some people, it's a time of significant stress,
Yes.
trying to navigate holidays and, all that it entails. So I want to start off today just asking, what are some significant stressors that happen during the holidays? What are the things that, bring us anxiety when we think about, gathering together for whether it is Thanksgiving or Christmas or, even New Year, whatever that is, whatever that looks like. What do those stressors look like?
May I go first?
You may.
Let's just go full tilt.
Yes.
Family issues, particularly, and I don't know if we want to just start off like this, but particularly where there has been misuse or abuse in the background. Now we all just gather together around the Thanksgiving table like nothing happened. Family can be a stressor at holidays.
Yeah, that's so key. And in my practice, there's definitely an uptick right now of people, coming in to just try to navigate that space of, how do I go in and deal with, Uncle so-and-so or Big Mama or whoever it might be, or Mama or Daddy or my brothers or sisters. We haven't talked all year, and now we're going to gather together for the holidays. Right. How do I do that? Yeah. Do I even show up, right? Do I even show up? Ooh. Do I even go? So people are really struggling with this. And I'm sure, all of us have had, those tense moments when we thought about, what is this really going to look like when we gather for the holidays? Yes. Sheila, can you speak to some of those stressors that you might have encountered?
Yes, just like Michelle said, we have family gatherings, and everybody comes to the table with all of their issues, some you haven't spoken to in a really long time. It's a struggle for me to navigate through that because I like to be open and honest. And if I'm not feeling you, I'm not feeling you. So how do you navigate that? When the person is there, they're your relative. You want them there, but they bring chaos. Mm-hmm. How do you deal with the chaos?
Yeah. That's so important. And I just thinking about prime time, like even us women in this prime time. Some of us have taken that role of, the leader, the matriarch in some ways in the family. So now we're the ones that people are looking towards to orchestrate everything for the holidays.
Fix it.
Fix it, make it happen, right? Bring everybody together and all of the things that are expected of us, right? What this looks like, just whether it's food or whether it is preparing our homes for guests. I see you, Michelle.
Yes.
I see. That's a real thing, right? Preparing our homes or traveling and all of those things just to show off with people that we don't even know if we really like.
Huh. And here we go. Yeah.
And even if you like them, what you said really hit me because I'm the everything person. Every holiday, even when during the holidays, if you have family coming in town, I have to decide where they're going to eat, what they're going to eat, where they're going to sleep. They borrow my clothes, all of that. And so it's a lot. It's a lot. And the holidays sometimes become not that enjoyable.
Yeah. That it is. And we have another component of holidays, right? I want to think about grief during the holidays.
Yes.
So we're thinking about gathering with our family members, but maybe there are some family members that's not showing up to the table this year, right? And we have to navigate the grief during the holidays, the loneliness, the loss, the feelings of disorientation because, maybe mama's not here this year, maybe dad's not here, or my favorite aunt's not here this year. Let's talk about that, like navigating grief during the holidays.
And I remember working with a client some years ago, and it was this time of year. And she said to me, I want to go to sleep the day before Thanksgiving and wake up the day after New Year's. Just sleep through the whole thing. So people are struggling, and I think a lot of times all of our glee and glistening is tone deaf. Because some of the people who are struggling are sitting around our tables. And to go back to Sister Jones may be at every one of these podcasts, but Sister Jones, in her desire to make everything right for everybody, could actually gloss over somebody's pain.
Yeah.
So from a therapist perspective, how do you navigate that kind of grief?
I think it's important for people to recognize the both and, right? The both and. I can grieve and be sad and feel those feelings of loss while also celebrating what I do have, what remains, right? And I think that as people, we talked about this in the last podcast, like we swing pendulums. We don't know how to find balance in the midst of that. Being able to feel our feelings, express our feelings, but also not stay in that place, right? Being able to say, okay, this is a tough time. I'm experiencing loss. I feel the sadness. I don't feel motivated to do anything. I don't feel, excited about anything. Everybody's laughing and joyful, and there's nothing for me to smile about at all. Right. But also recognizing that there is still something that you can experience joy about, even in that. And I like to tell people that grief is just love with nowhere to go. It's love, but there's not the object of the love to pour that love on. So what can you do in those moments? Like you pour love where you can.
That's good.
You pour love where you can. You find those people and spaces where you can have an expression of that love, even if it's not the one that you would love to pour that love on.
That's good.
Pour love where you can.
Pour love where you can.
I needed to hear that because I lost my sister 2 months ago. And I'm kind of dreading the holiday because she's not going to be there. But she has 2 daughters. And so that's good. I need to hear that. I will pour love into her 2 daughters because they'll be coming to my house.
They'll be coming to your house because you're the one that is orchestrating everything, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what does that look like for you? Like to have to orchestrate everything in the midst of mourning your sister. Tell us about that a little bit.
So, my story is really interesting because actually on the 27th, which is next week, when Thanksgiving comes, I lost my first husband on Thanksgiving Day 16 years ago. And so having to navigate through that, I became stronger It was hard. It was very hard. But I did do that. I didn't use those terms, but I did pour myself into something else. It was a class that I took. I poured myself into that class and I discovered something about myself. And so that's really good, and that's what I'm going to do. I do have to plan everything. They're actually coming in to help me because their mom is not here. So they'll be coming to my house instead of going to her house. They'll be coming to my house to help me plan and cook. And so we're going to have a good time with that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. That is amazing. That is amazing because we can pivot. We can pivot. When we think about stress, right? That just, brings up so many negative connotations about stress. But I'm wondering, is there such thing as good stress? Is there such thing as good stress?
I
Right?
think there is.
Okay.
I think there is. The stress that gets you focused, that says, okay, there's all of this happening in the world, but this is what's important to me. I'm going to focus on that. I think in that sense, stress can be good.
Yeah.
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 So why would we call that stress?
I don't know. Because it is. I
Something to
it
think
is.
about.
Well, how do we define stress then? What is a good definition for stress?
I always looked at stress as something negative, something that got my heart racing and making me feel jittery. But as I think about it, when I'm excited in a good way, my heart also jitters and I also get anxious. So I guess I understand it.
Yeah, because that's really what the focus of, if we call it stress, right, or anxiety or whatever it might be. It really is that mechanism by which the adrenaline flows through our body. It causes us to focus. It causes us the energy to complete a task, right? That was the purpose. When we talk about fight or flight, that's really what that mechanism that God gave us embodies. It enables us to do something. It enables us to move and provides clarity. All the other parts of the body shut down, right? The digestive system shuts down. Certain parts of your brain shuts down because you don't need that part. You need to do something. It provides the motivation for action, right? So when you think about stress in terms of that, there can be good stress. There is the pressure that you feel in a good way to accomplish something. There's the pressure that you feel when you know you have to put your best foot forward, right? You don't have time to think about, those things that might be worrying you or bothering you. You're like, okay, I got to get this done. And some people actually use that to do it. I love working with people who say, I'm just such a procrastinator. I just get things done at the last minute. And the way we reframe that is, okay, you may feel like that, but what you're doing is you're utilizing that part of you that does have the stress to focus, right? To focus on getting this done by a certain deadline or timeline. So we reframe that aspect for them so that it's more reparative for them. It's more something that they can look at in a way where I can use this for good. So I think there is a such thing as good stress.
Okay.
It gets the job done.
Okay. Yes.
But okay, so now, good stress at holiday times. Fight or flight. We don't want to fight or flight at the Thanksgiving table. And so how can somebody who is stressed or anxious about the idea of gathering with family channel that stress into a good way? What can we do with that?
Well, I think it's important to even with the stress and the anxiety that comes and the thought of being with family members and getting all the food together, getting the house together, making sure you really have to sit down and figure out what is your objective. What is your target? What do you want to say happened at the end of this? So you begin sort of with the end in mind. When you start, you're thinking about how I want this to be when it's over, right? So you begin with that. Then that starts to focus you. That starts to help you to recenter and restructure what your activities will be regarding that,
yes,
right?
yes.
Because it's not hard to be busy doing a whole lot of nothing.
Yes,
That's
is
not
very
hard
true.
to do.
Yeah.
That's not
Very
hard to
true.
do. We could be all over the place, but it's like, what do I want this vision to come to pass? Starting from that place, and that helps you to use that energy in positive ways. It helps you to focus. It helps you to hit a target because you can be all over the place, right? Tell me a little bit about being in that space where you have to think about all of these activities, tell me about that. Like, how does that work out for you guys?
Well, for me, it is about finding out who's good at what. Because I love Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. So we are hosting it, having just moved into a brand new place Wednesday. But we're going to host Thanksgiving. But the good thing is, we're talking about doing it as a potluck.
Okay.
So everybody contributes and nobody's overwhelmed. Who's good with games? Who's good with this? And it's identifying who's good at what and then putting them to work because now they feel that they're a part of it. See, I think one of the worst things, what would stress me out as a host, is people coming in and I'm still in the kitchen doing this like I didn't know they were coming. That makes them feel uncomfortable,
Yeah.
like they've inconvenienced me. And so that's not what I want to happen. So doing the things in advance, and for me, quiet. While I'm planning, everybody shut up and let me hear my own thoughts. Yeah.
Some planning takes place.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I have to plan quietly.
Okay, you need that space.
Yes.
What about for you, Sheila?
So for me, my story is different. Before my husband died, we had 20 Thanksgiving dinners at our house. I did all of the cooking, and I'm talking about 50 people in my home. I did all of the cooking. My husband did all of the baking. He was the baker in the family. And so I start real early when I'm doing something. Like now, all the food would be purchased. I'm doing it this year, but not for as many people. All the food is purchased, the turkey's in the freezer, all of that. So I plan real early. All my seasoning will be chopped and in the freezer, and all I have to do is take it out. So everything is planned. I decorate early. That's my thing, do everything early. And so I'm never stressed about the food. And I decorate. I put the tree up because I don't host Christmas, my sister does. So I want my tree up at Thanksgiving. So I do all of that really, really early. The stress comes in, I want to make sure everything is just so perfect. That's my own issue. It's got to be perfect, which is why I start so early. And my husband can't walk across the floor. My son can't walk across the floor. Don't touch anything. And so that stresses me, trying to be so perfect. And he used to always tell me, it doesn't have to be perfect. But in my mind, it has to be perfect. I've learned how to calm down, channel that energy, go for a drive if I have to. I like driving along the lake, and so I get in my car so I could just breathe. So that's how I deal with it. I just steal off and go by myself. That's how I deal with it.
Yeah. So I'm hearing from you ladies that it's a lot of planning, preparation, that goes into these big holiday events when you're hosting family. What about for those people who are not planners? What about for those people who are fly by the seat of their pants?
They're going to be
kind of
stressed.
thing.
Oh, they come to my house.
They're going
They
to
come to your house. They come to your house.
come
That's
to
what
my
happens to them. That's what happens to them. They come to your house. But what I'm learning, even as we journey in this, prime time of our lives, is that it actually could look different. Right? It could actually look different. It could look different. We could think about the potluck.
Yes.
We could think about ordering food if the objective is just to spend time with the family. Right? And that's where you go back to the begin with the end in mind. Right? What is it that I want to get out of this time? And then how to best facilitate that. That may mean I'm not the one doing all the cooking. That may mean I might ask somebody to bring a dish that I know that they're good at. That may mean, we order from, some restaurant and we just all come together.
Yeah.
Right? It could look different. It could look different. It could look like we don't have a traditional Thanksgiving dinner, right? It could look different. And so I want to talk about some ways that we could restructure our thought process about the holidays and family and how to relieve some of that stress that comes with that. What are some options? What are some things that we could consider?
And I know we have to move on, and I feel like I'm beating this dead horse just a little bit, but for the person for whom family gatherings are painful, maybe you gather with friends. There is something that, and I'm looking, it looks wonderful, Friendsgivings. And so maybe rather than keeping up appearances, to show up at the table that's caused you a lot of stress and pain, maybe it's not about cooking. Maybe it's about creating breathing room for yourself and being thankful for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
What my family and I talked about was there's a beautiful Airbnb right next door to me, and we talked about maybe moving a holiday event there so I don't have to clean and mop and wax and do all of those things. And then we did talk about everybody bringing a dish. And so that's something, we haven't done it yet, but it is something that we're talking about. And I think that would help a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It takes away all that pressure.
it does.
It can be reimagined.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what we're all about, like thinking about the possibilities. We
Yes.
consider
The
the possibilities.
possibilities.
We consider the possibilities. We don't have to be tied into things that no longer serve us. We could do it a different way. We could even have time by ourselves. Right? That's a crazy thought.
That is crazy.
That's a crazy thought, right?
Not for an introvert, it's not.
Not for an introvert, but that's a crazy thought. Like maybe we show up and maybe we spend time alone. Maybe we use that as a time of reflection. Maybe we use that as a time of healing. Maybe we use that as a time of redirection,
Yeah.
right? Because if we're talking about Thanksgiving, what are we thankful for?
Yeah. Ooh,
Absolutely.
What are we thankful for?
that's a great note to end on. I'm getting our producer flashed the time signal at me about 5 minutes ago, and I acted like I didn't see it, but I did. But again, as we approach these holidays, thank you so much, Lysandra, because what we're seeing is we don't have to do things the way they've
That's right.
always been done.
That's right.
We can create opportunities to both be thankful, to gather with families, and then to explore, doing some different things. I like the Airbnb or spending time by myself. I'm thankful that I get to sleep in. That could be a real thing.
yes.
So thank you for joining us for this episode of Primetime Makeover. Thank you, therapist to the world. And if you want to get in touch with Lysandra Lester, I'm not sure she's taking new clients, but she might be. Please reach out. You'll see all of that contact information at the end of this podcast. Thank you, Sheila, for joining us, and we will see you the next time on Primetime Makeover. You are loved.
Hey ladies, coming on to you live again. Yeah, just to share with you some fashion sense. It's greetings, Trender from Eclectic Artistry. Yes, let's talk about this little black dress that's in your closet. Okay, so now you've been invited to this event. It's last minute. You're trying to figure out, what can I do? What can I wear? And it's a black event, right? So guess what? If in doubt, wear black, right? However, there are so many things to do with black, right? The options are endless, okay? We can add a pearl. We can do a rhinestone. We can have that fabulous shoe. We can do some beautiful hosiery. We can add a shrug. We can add a blazer. We can do a designer necktie or a bow tie or a pin of flower. There are so many things that we can do to take this little black dress up a notch, right? So again, accessories are the exclamation point to your outfit. So you can do so many things with it, okay? Again, you get that call, hey, I need you to meet me here, or we're going here, and you got this black dress and it's a last minute. So let's funk it out with some beautiful jewelry, accessories, an embellished necktie, a wonderful belt, a corset, a blazer, beautiful hosiery, a nice pair of shoes. And once you add that beautiful enhancements with your makeup, you're ready to go. So accessories, again, are enhancements to the outfit. And you're ready for the party or event with the little black dress. I hope these tips were great for you. I hope you can take these tips and ideas and make them your own. And remember, always be confident in what you wear. Always feel good about who you are. And you are what you wear. So wear things in the spirit of excellence, beauty, charm, and fashion. Have an amazing day.